Okay, John Oakes here from HANKSTERS Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And today we've got a very nice car here to go over with you. This is a 1969 Pontiac Grand Prix SJ model. Now this particular car here, you see it's done in the palladium silver paint. This car was a frame-off restoration that was completed back in 2002. Now again, a little bit of an older restoration, but this car is very, very nice. All original metal. It's got the original driveline in the car, original floors, everything. Just like a time capsule in this car here is what it is. So again, as you can see, palladium silver paint here on the exterior of the car. Nice, smooth, and shiny. All I do on all our cars here is I'll stand at the front, look back here, and see what our panel fitment and alignment is on the cars. So as I do that here, I can tell you that everything falls right in perfect alignment down the side of this car here. The fender to the door elevations are dead on, and the door to the quarter panel elevations are dead on as well. Now this car retains a lot of bright work on it. You've got the bright wheel lip moldings here. You've got the bright rocker moldings down below here. And you also have all of your chrome bumpers, your mirrors, and all the trim around all the windows. All of which is in very good condition on this car. Very straight, no dings or dents in anything. And again, the finish it's been polished up and looks really, really nice. Now, they've elected to keep the correct wheels on this car. We've got 14-inch. These are the steel factory Pontiac Rally wheels on the car. You can see that they have the painted centers, the charcoal and the silver there. And then these do also have the beauty rings and those PMD center caps, which are correct for this car. Again, they are 14-inch wheels, and they have on them for tires BF Goodrich radial TAs, and all four are all the same. They're 215/70 R14s on this car. Tread is in really good condition on this car too. Now, as I work my way back here, we're going to take a look at the door gaps on the front side of the door, as well as back here on the back side. And you can see the gaps are really nice on this car. Chrome mirror up here too, and again the finish on that mirror is really nice. It's not pitted, and this is a remote mirror on this car, so you can adjust it from inside. Now as I step back here along the side, again we'll take a look at our drip rail molding here. It's nice and straight, polished really nice. Also, I look down the rain gutter, the rain channel here on the car, and make sure that there's no cracks or anything like that in the paint. And again, there are none on this. It looks really good in the rain gutter. Now again, like I said, this was a little bit of an older restoration, so our weather stripping here is showing a little bit of age on it, but again, it's still in decent condition. As far as our door handles, it's got really unique door handles on it here. You push on the back side of the door handle, it pops up, and then you can go ahead and open up that door. Now we'll do that, and we're going to go ahead and just real briefly look at the interior real quickly here. All black vinyl interior, just what this car came with. That palladium silver works its way to the interior of the car as well. We've got the rubber bump stops. The weather stripping here on the inside of the door is in really good condition also. Again, this car has the quarter windows back here too. Everything all rolls up really nice. Bucket seats, headrests, carpeting, everything's all black. Factory dash, factory instrumentation on this car. So we'll close that up. You see it closes real nice and easy, so that shows that it's adjusted really good for the car. Now again, back here on the sail panels, I think that this car would have originally come with a landau top on it. They've done away with that and just done the full painted roof, and then they went ahead and added the trim back here on the sail panels of the car. And again, that trim work there, if you come back here and look at your side marker lights, it kind of matches right up with those side marker lights, so it looks really good. All right, now that we're around the back side of our 69 Grand Prix here, we'll take a look first here at the rear glass and the trim work around that. So the rear glass, it's tinted glass, got the defroster here in the glass. You can see the lines across there. That's where your element is to help defrost that rear glass there. Now the trim work around here, the moldings, this is the textured and painted molding. Again, as I said there earlier, this probably had the Landau top on it. That's why you have the textured molding around the window here. Now, panels here right underneath the window. This panel is nice and perfectly straight here. There's down here where the panels come together, you'll usually see maybe a little bit of cracking in the clear or in the paint, and you do not have that on this car. That looks good where those panels come together. Our trunk lid, the fitment on this thing, you couldn't ask for anything any better. The elevations with your trunk and your quarter panel here are dead on both sides, and your gaps the whole way around the trunk are the same the whole way around. So everything's been fitted up really nice. Of course, we got our big chrome back bumper here. That finish is in pretty good shape back here. There's no pitting whatsoever. It's polished up really, really nice. Looks really good. Of course, we got a little bit of bright work and trim around the bottom edge of the trunk here and on the quarter panels. All of that is in good shape there too. Of course, the Grand Prix logo here on the back side. So what we'll do now is go ahead and open up our trunk. Take a look inside what we got. So first thing we notice is the underside of the trunk painted that same palladium silver that we have on the exterior of the car. Nice, smooth and shiny inside. So it's been finished off as well. We've got the rubber bump stops on the underside of the trunk here also. And we've got the original decals that go along with the spare tire, the jack, and so forth like that. As far as the spare tire goes, this trunk so big, we've got two of them in here. We've got first the full-size spare in here. It's got the hold down and everything in it. We've also got the space saver spare over here in the corner, as it should be. It's all mounted in here with all the proper stuff. Got the now this is not a fire extinguisher. This is actually to air the tire up once you get it on the car. So that's what that is. We've got a set of floor mats in here too. We just elect to take them out to show the condition of the carpeting and the inside of the car there. But the trunk itself looks good. It's got this fabric that's laid in there from the factory. Looks real good in there too. That helps kind of keep that trunk in good shape so that when you are putting things in there, you don't cause any damage or anything to it. As far as weather stripping goes, this looks to be all new here. Nice and soft here. Comes together right in the center. So again, you shouldn't have any issues with it sealing up from the outside elements. So that's our trunk and the rear section of the car. All right, now on the passenger side of our Grand Prix here, again, I'm going to look from the back of the car all the way up to the front, and I'm going to see that all of these panels, again, are in perfect alignment, super straight the whole way down the side of this car here. Again, the paint, the body work, all looks great on this car, and our elevations with our quarter to door are dead on, as well as our door to our front fender elevations are dead on this car. So again, there's not a whole lot to really go over on this side of the car that we haven't already. Again, we've done all the moldings, all the trim work and everything on the car. So again, we just come back up to our door here. We're going to check on our gaps here then on the back side as well as on the front side. And you can see that our gaps are pretty uniform there, pretty good. So the door's been adjusted nicely there. Again, we'll open up our door. Just take a quick peek to the interior here. And again, you'll see the rubber bump stops are all present. Got the little GM logo down there. The weather stripping is in good shape. Door panels, seat upholstery, carpeting, all of that in really good shape on this car. We'll close the door. Closes nice and easy. So again, you can see the door has been adjusted very nice. The drip rail molding again on this side, really nice. I want to look down the rain gutter here, and it's in good shape too. There's no cracks in the paint down through there. It looks really nice. Of course, like I said, on the other side, our Grand Prix SJ emblem down there. We've got that bright rocker molding down below there. Fenders are nice and super straight on this car too. Finally, now we're here at the front end of our car. This would be the business end of this car here. You can see we've got this big monster of a steel hood up front. And again, Pontiac's always had a little bit different looking hood or front end on their cars here. This one's no different. Got the kind of the beak here on the front of the car with the Pontiac emblem right up front here. The hood's all steel, so this thing's pretty heavy when you go to raise it up. Got the hood mounted tack back there on the back side of the hood, and our gaps the whole way around on our hood are pretty good. Elevations are good as well on this car. Now, as you can see, a lot of chrome or bright work on the front end of this car. Not only you've got, well, it's basically the front bumper, but it also has the grill work all included in it. So this is all one piece, the bumper and this beak for your grill here. Again, the chrome finish on this is really nice. Your marker lights up front, or your parking lights I should say, those are in good shape. The lenses on them are good. I'm not showing too much age on those. And then our headlights, you've got both your highs and your low beam units on this car, both sealed beam units. Glass lenses, those are all in good shape too. The bezels around all of your headlamps here are in nice shape too. Again, not showing any pitting or anything like that whatsoever. Now, underneath the hood, again, we've already talked about it. We've got an all numbers matching driveline on this car. So we're going to go ahead and open up our hood. So I need to reach underneath here. And like I said, it is a big hood, but we'll get her up for you. So underneath, now again, you're going to notice the hood insulation underneath here. Again, it's an older restoration, so this is older hood insulation. You might see some fraying and so forth of it, but it's all tacked up as it should be, not hanging down, just showing a little bit of age, that's all. Now, as far as the engine compartment goes, as I said before, numbers match motor. So this is the original 400 cubic inch, 350 horse Pontiac engine here. Again, original motor. You've got the factory style air cleaner back there with the chrome lid on top. You've got a set of chrome valve covers on this car also. As far as the engine itself, starting with the carburetor, original carburetor. It's a Rochester Quadrajet 650 CFM on that car. Again, we know that from the documentation that we have on this car, which again, we have lots of it. We've got the PHS documents, the original window stickers, so we're able to go through and decipher a lot on this particular car. And again, a whole binder of info comes with this whenever you purchase the car. As far as the intake and heads, it's all the factory stock cast stuff here. So again, we've got, you know, the cast intake, cast heads on the thing. Numbers are there that you can check out, which we've already done that. Factory air conditioning on this car too, all hooked up. So it's all there. We've got a stock style radiator here. We've got this big shroud, which is factory original. A 7-blade clutch fan on this thing too to help keep it nice and cool. Now, as far as the battery goes, it's got a modern battery in it, but they put one of the original looking battery toppers on it. So it looks like it's got the old style AC Delco battery in it, but it's just a cover on this particular car. Ignition system on this car, they've remained factory stock with it. So you got the stock distributor, stock coil, 7mm plug wires on the car, but it fires up right away every time, runs nice and smooth on this car too. And again, Quadrajet carburetors, everybody always has their little misconceptions about them, but when they're correct and running right, they are probably one of the best carburetors that you can come across. So again, this car starts, runs, drives, everything perfect every time. Backing this motor, we have a turbo 400 transmission, which is original to this car, as well as the 10-bolt rear end limited slip differential that is in this car. So again, that's everything under the hood, besides the power brakes and power steering. So we can go ahead and close our hood up now. Okay, now that we're on the inside here of our 69 Grand Prix, we can go over the interior. As you can see, this is in excellent condition for the year of the car. Again, starting out clear at the door panels there, full door panels, all black vinyl. You got the carpeted or upholstered section down at the bottom there. Again, everything's in very nice condition. The armrest, there's no splits or cracks in any of that. Just in really nice condition for this car. Again, it's got the driver's side remote mirror. You can see the control on the inside of the door there. And then as far as our dash goes, we've got factory dash. The dash top itself, there's no splits or cracks in that. Factory instrumentation also on this car. So that's going to include, we've got the temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and oil pressure gauge all over there, all included in one gauge along with the generator light. We've got a 140 mile an hour speedometer, and we also have the factory clock that's mounted up there in the dash. Now as far as the odometer goes, this is an original mild car. So again, we've got 64.5 and some change on the odometer there. And then over next here to the gauges, we got the factory heat and AC controls, all of which are in very nice shape. All of those, all of your sliders work very well. You've got a factory AM radio here, a little bit of wood grain trim on the dash. You can see we've got a factory automatic center console here also with the floor shifter there, and that is the correct shift indicator in there too. Factory steering wheel and column, of which this is a tilt steering column. So you have that option there as well. As far as the seats go, we've got the factory buckets up front with the headrests. All of the interior, the upholstery, all matches. So your fronts and your backs are matching upholstery. The seats not showing wear at all. They look really nice. Headliner, it's nice too. There's no tears, no frays, no holes or anything like that in the headliner. Even your sun visors, when you put them down, they're going to stay down. When you put them back up, they're going to stay up for you there too. All the seat belts are present in this car as well, even including the shoulder harness belts, which are tagged up here along the headliner of the car. So those are installed in the car. As I said, factory steering wheel, the carpeting itself, probably the original carpeting too for this particular car. Now again, might see just a little bit of you know, just normal wear and tear, maybe right along the edges there. But as far as throughout the rest of the car, I don't see any fading, no holes in the floor and the carpeting at all. So again, that's in really good shape for the age of the car. Sail panels, those are nice and tight and smooth back there in the back corners. Package tray is in excellent condition, and like I said, the headliner got all the necessary bows in it, tied up nice and tight, so it looks good in this particular car. As far as that goes, that's pretty much it to go over on the interior. Alright, we've got our 1969 Pontiac Grand Prix SJ up on the lift for you now, so that we can go through the underside here and show you exactly what we have under here and how nice this thing is underneath. Starting at the front, as we always do, we're going to talk about steering, suspension components on here. Everything that's on this car is all factory original, you know, components. Your A-arms, your control arms on the bottom, of course, like I said, the A-arms up top. All of your steering components, your drag length, the tie rods, all of that stuff. Even this sway bar, that was all factory stuff on this car. Now all the bushings for your sway bar, those are in great condition. The sway bar end links and bushings on both sides are in really good shape too. Your lower control arms even have the little rubber bump stops on those on both sides too. And again, that is exactly how they would have come from the factory. Now your tie rods, all straight. Ball joints on the tie rods are all in great shape. All of the rubber dust boots on all of your ball joints are all intact. They're not split. They're in good shape. So it's going to keep that grease in, keep the dirt out. Even the ball joints here out at the ends of our control arms and our upper A-arms, those are in good shape and have been kept lubed up throughout time. As far as our braking components up front, this is a power brake car. We've got disc brakes up front, and again, that's all factory components. And we do have drum brakes out on the back of the car for this 69 Grand Prix. As far as what the car rides on for wheels and tires, we can tell you that it's got the factory steel rally wheels on it. They're all painted up. They've got the beauty rings and the center caps, and they're correct center caps too. They're the PMD center caps on this particular car. Now they are 14-inch wheels, and then they've gone ahead and put some BF Goodrich Radial TA tires on this car. Same size front and back, and they are 215/70 R14s. So again, it keeps that 14-inch wheel, which was stock from the factory on the car. Now as far as your cross member goes, you can see how nice and straight this is here. Driveline on this car, original driveline. We've got the Pontiac 400 motor here in this car. That's a 350 horse. When running the codes on this car, it's an XH code, and it is the correct 69 block for this car. That is backed up by a turbo 400 transmission, which again, from the factory, that's how this car came, as per the codes on it too. So, and that transmission and motor both, we can look at these and I can tell you that I do not see any leaks. The pan on the transmission is dry. The pan on the engine is dry also. It's also got the flywheel cover here too, so that's going to protect that flywheel from getting chipped with any kind of debris that you might pick up along the roadways here. Now as far as exhaust, we'll talk about that since that's kind of the next thing we see. It does retain the stock cast exhaust manifolds. We've got dual exhaust, as you can see, coming all the way back. Got the crossover pipe here, and then back into a set of dual mufflers back here. Now I cannot see a name brand on these. They do look a lot like a Flowmaster muffler, so they're going to be similar. I'm not sure if that might just be turned around up on top or not, but a similar muffler to the style of it, like a Flowmaster muffler. And of course we've got the correct tailpipes that go up over top the rear end and then out the rear of the car. Now they do have a set of looks like possibly chrome or maybe even stainless exhaust tips. A nice slash cut exhaust tip back there to exit out the rear of the car. So real nice little touch back there. Now our drive shaft is in great shape. You can see it here. It is balanced. It's got the weights here on it. U-joints and everything's are in good shape. The rear end itself, now that is a GM 10-bolt rear end here that we have. It's a limited slip differential, and it's the factory or stock suspension on the rear too. You've got the coilover springs with your metric 4-link, so you got your control arms on the bottom, the control arms up on top of the rear end also. And they're done in a fashion where you don't need, obviously, the panner bar to keep the rear end located. It does all of that itself. And like I already mentioned, it's got the drum brakes back there as well. Let's switch gears then before we finish up underneath here and talk about the floors. Everything on this car looks to be original. The floors, they are right along with that. I don't see any replacement panels. I don't see any patching at all on the underside of this car. Floors are in excellent shape. The frame also on both sides. Now again, this is a full framed car, and you can see how nice these frame rails are on this particular car. Nice and straight, nice and square the whole way back. Brake lines, fuel lines, they all look in great shape on this car too. And it does have the emergency brake intact, all hooked up here. So we got the correct mounting hardware and brackets, the cable all the way back, the intermediate cable, and then of course the cable's going back to your drum brakes on the rear of the car. So with that said, everything looks great underneath here, as you can see.